Hey guys, this is Camper15, joined yet again with another video for you guys. And we are back at it with another Dragon Quest Adventure of Die review. Joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf.
What's up, guys?
Let's talk about this episode because our guys get wrecked again.
Unfortunately.
Yes, sadly this time Dai couldn't save his beloved princess, but maybe in a few more weeks. I would probably give it 2 more weeks till he finally saves her. But this episode is really good. Flazzard is actually a problem, like a big problem.
That's an understatement.
Anyways, so let's start this off. Let's start this review off because this episode was freaking crazy. So this is Dragon Quest Adventure of Die, episode 15 review. Now, obviously we know that Die, he managed to... Can my notifications stop popping up on my dang phone? I mean my laptop. We see that Die, he managed to come in, save Leona in the nick of time before she was apparently about to get killed by Mr. Flazzard, and he actually gets some more offense in on Flazzard. But then that's when he does this spell called, now Flazzard does a spell called Crackle, and it starts to actually freeze Die. But then he uses a magic sword that's built in with flames, and he manages to use a fire earth slash, I believe that's what they called it.
Yeah, fire slash, and cut off Blizzard's arm.
Yes. I was like, dang! Die is not playing around. Yeah, he's definitely serious. And the funny thing, okay, what I found funny was Leona seeing all this, and she's so overjoyed about her little boyfriend saving her. And I found one of the funniest comments of this episode, the fact she's like, wow, Die is better at using magic. At least it's a little, at least it makes him more reliable, a little more reliable. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, she's like, I feel at least a little bit relieved. I'm like, at least have some confidence. Come on, girl.
Have confidence.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, you guys are joking. Anyways, what happens next is when the others finally get to the tower, we find out a few things. Marin is actually Amy's sister. So one of the trio of heroes that were protecting Leona, we found out 2 of them were related to each other. Guess it makes sense a lot, huh? So yeah. And in other news, my clippers are getting blown out. Wonderful. Anyways, what happens is Flazzard grows his arm back, and he eventually does this move called Blizzblaze Shrapnel Detonation. So essentially, it's like a big explosion, and he knocks out mostly everybody with the exception of Pop, Die, and Mom, as well as Amy. So then all of a sudden, and also Leona's down, and she's down for the rest of the episode. So what happens is, this move he did was not only an attack, but it was also a way to call to his servants or send a signal to them. Next thing you know, we're seeing an ice pillar come out the ground, a volcano erupting, which later turns into a flame pillar. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on here? And stuff like that. Now, those pillars are called Dark Ice and Flame Spires individually. I just call them pillars, but okay. Now, what is the thing that Flazzard sets up this episode that later is the downturn for our heroes?
He basically, I don't know, he made everyone weaker compared to him. because of what is that barrier called again?
Blizzblaze Curse Field.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah. This freaking okay. One, this is probably one of the most broken attacks ever. Two, it's actually pretty cool. You know, it makes Flazzard actually pretty freaking threatening, and I actually do like it. It's an actual like field that, you know, weakens you, and it's funny. I don't know if anybody's ever watched the TV show or cartoon Bakugan. I know, then that's a very old show.
I forgot to continue that show. Oh my goodness. I don't remember what episode I'm.
Who knows? Maybe I might do a review about Bakugan in the future. Anyways, the thing is, I remember about this whole thing that Flazzard used took me back to a part in the show Bakugan. It was the second season, which was Bakugan New Vestroya. When it was like the second half of that series, when Dan and the others had to go up against the main bad guy of the second season, and he had this whole battlefield set up to where it actually weakened Dan's and his allies' Pokemon, and it was kind of like a trap field essentially. And it's kind of the same thing Flazzard did here.
Did you just say Pokemon? You said Pokemon.
I said Bakugan.
You said Pokemon in that sentence.
Oh, my bad. I guess if I go back and watch this video and I say something else that wasn't relatively close to Pokemon, you owe me $1.
If he actually said Bakugan instead of, if he actually said Pokemon instead of Bakugan, people comment down below, please, so that he'll know, so that he doesn't have to watch it.
Anyways, yeah, this is a pretty interesting attack, and we see essentially like along with the fact that, you know, our characters are weaker, like several times weaker, they can't use any magic spells. So essentially they're handicapped, and when I mean handicapped, they're like handcuffed. What did you think about Blizzblaze Curse Field?
I was trying to think maybe Dai could transform again and then he'll overpower the field, but sadly that wasn't the case for this episode, is it?
Yeah. He also calls this whole move he does it's the ultimate tactic in his arsenal that makes his Legion unbeatable, and I can see why. So yeah, Mom essentially too, she gets involved in the fight because Dai gets kind of, no lie, tossed around like a rag doll. She can't do nothing. Now she brings out her magic bullet gun. No magic can come out of it either. So not even her magic bullet gun can produce anything and stuff like that. And also in the meantime, you know, Amy can't heal, you know, the other allies because she can't use her magic. And the bad thing with that is, because the other people are essentially, I guess you can say, on the brink of death, but they're still alive at this current point in time, Amy's like, yeah, we gotta heal these guys because these guys can die if we don't give them healing magic. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not good. So what happens is Mom eventually comes to the realization that just like the past fights against all the other Legion commanders we've seen in this series, they have to retreat. And what is the one thing about our main shonen protagonist here?
He doesn't want to give up. He's not running away. He's gonna stay and fight to the very end until.
Well, what happened in between that was pretty significant.
You can say it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, anyways, Dai's not listening to what Mom's saying, and Mom's saying we have to retreat, but, you know, in a way, I guess, to try to keep Dai to, you know, stay, this man grabs a hold of Leona, and he actually freezes her solid in a, I guess you can say, an ice prison type of thing. And essentially, we find out that Flazzard's whole spell here is he used a legendary forbidden magic where no blow or spell can melt that ice. Unless, which we all figured, that unless you defeat Flazzard and kill him, the spell will wear off. And I felt like it was a way to try to keep Dai there to lure him into a way so we can kill him, because he knew Dai wasn't going to try to leave. But it's like my co-host said, it got to the point where Mom actually had to physically knock this kid out to make him realize, or really, to make sure he's unconscious, so then they could get out there and escape. Now, Flazzard was like, you ain't getting out of here, guys. But then Mom fires a magic gun bullet at him when he was about to do a Kafriz spell, and it kind of blows up in his face. Oh, and actually, quick tidbit before all that happened, Dai actually managed to cut off Flazzard's arm again. But the whole difference was, to Flazzard, it felt honestly like, I guess you can say, the way he explained it, like a paper cut, because he said, well, if it wasn't for the field, it would have probably actually done like 5 times more damage, and I actually would have probably been really hurt. But because you're weak as a fly, it did nothing to me. So again, shows you how crazy this curse field is and stuff like that. Did you,
I said,
Did you want to explain how the episode ended?
Yes, as they were trying to escape from the in the hot air balloon, all of Blizzard's minions started attacking them, but eventually they got saved by a light casted by someone in a mysterious cave. When they got in, Mom recognized him. Uncle something.
Uncle Matroviv. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And that's when the episode ends off. So it seems like Mom's got another relative, or maybe someone she considers she knows who she calls uncle, because that's some things, in other, animes where, you have these other characters, but hey, they're not biologically related, but they call them uncles sometimes. So who knows? It seems like next week is going to be just like, all the other episodes we've seen in the past when it comes to defeating these Legion commanders. We usually meet the Legion commander, get wrecked, have an episode where we train and get stronger to improve our team's strength. And then the next episode following will be when they go back and ultimately, in either an episode or 2, eventually beat the Legion commander. It also seems like Hadlar is going to try to do something. I didn't watch enough of the next episode preview, but they bring up Hadlar in it, but I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, but it was a good episode. Flazzard is, again, I haven't said this a lot in this series, while watching the series, but Flazzard is another Legion commander who we think is like, Jesus, how are they going to top the last Legion commander? Well, here you go. Flazzard is crazy strong. Well, he's strong when he puts up that field.
I wonder what would happen if we took off the field.
Who knows? Maybe Dai gets the upper hand on him. So, I don't know how they're gonna get rid of that field. Like me and the Red Wolf actually talked about how they could. I only feel like the only way they can get rid of the field is getting rid of those pillars he sets up.
Yeah, actually, but since that's actually part of the field, I don't really see how they can if they have to get close to the field to take them out.
Yeah, and I feel like it's gonna be the same thing like the last Legion commanders. They're just gonna hold somebody hostage. The last Legion commander, Hunicle, held Mom hostage, and he knew that Dai would come back. And essentially that's what Flazzard's gonna do, because he's even like, it's okay, princess. Your hero will come back eventually with the field still set up. So they're going to go back into a weakened field. So I wonder if they're going to train their physical strength so they're able to do more damage. We'll just have to see going forward. But it was another good episode of Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai. This series again never fails. to, I guess, disappoint me. And yeah, so that's all I gotta say.
So you're saying it actually disappoints you? That's the worst you can refer to that.
I said it fails to disappoint me.
Never fails to disappoint.
Oh, okay, my bad. It never fails to disappoint me.
You are struggling with that sentence.
You know, it's hard when you're trying to watch the Clippers game during a freaking video as well as freaking record. But okay.
Let me just say, I was gonna let it go, but that was like, I think people are gonna get really confused by that sentence. You know, like, look at him sounding like a broken record, like, abri.
Okay. Yes. Make fun of me day today.
So sorry,
Yeah. That's it. So, any closing thoughts for this episode?
Have a good episode, and I hope it continues this way.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next episode review. So till then, if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's Dragon Quest episode. Again, what were your thoughts on Flazzard when you saw this episode? As well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Dragon Quest content, as well as anything else on the channel you're interested in. So yeah, other than that, guys, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Hopefully you guys are social distancing, wearing your mask, yada yada yada. As well as hopefully have a great rest of your night or day or whenever you're checking out this video. Till then, guys, have a great rest of your evening.